Hello, my love, and welcome back to Aligned and Manifesting. Today's episode is for the woman who looks like she's holding it all together, but inside her nervous system is tired, like tired. Because I am joined by an incredible guest, Dr. Marianne Olaniran, founder and CEO of Joyfully Transcend, also known as the Comeback Doctor. Dr. Marianne is an award-winning social and behavioural scientist, published researcher, and best-selling author, and a key speaker for women, helping them reclaim confidence, unlock prosperity, and restore joy after setbacks. Today, we are diving into the nervous system, how it shapes confidence, self-trust, burnout, and the ability to receive love, success, and ease. Dr. Marianne, welcome to the show. I'm so grateful you are here.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a joy to be here.
So when you hear phrase nervous system, what do you wish more women understood about it?
That's a great question. When I think of the nervous system, I wish people understood how much it really impacts your confidence, your outcomes, how you feel about yourself, and how that determines what you get from life. So a lot of my work is around helping women to reclaim their confidence so they can go out there to create more prosperity, more joy, more wealth in their lives, however they define wealth and success as well as joy. And so the nervous system really has an integral part in that process. So see, confidence is not just a mindset. People think of confidence as a mindset, but it's quite literally part of the nervous system. It's a nervous system state is how I like to think about it, because when your nervous system is regulated, you're more likely to feel better about yourself. What happens when you feel better about yourself? You're more likely to do more. You have this behavioral patterns that are embedded in your brain, your mind. You rewire your brain to be able to have the habits that support the outcome that you want. So for me, I wish more women understood that they need to regulate the nervous system in order to be able to get the outcomes that they want. And so that would be something that I would definitely want more people to understand, especially as it relates to how they feel about themselves, how they feel about what they can get from life, as well as how they feel about their past even, because that significantly affects what they do with their future.
So why do you think not many people know that it's so connected?
I think that people have come to think about the nervous system as something woo-woo, or they think about it in terms of pseudoscience. So they're thinking about, oh, that's something that all those weird people talk about. But in reality, it is really part of your body. There is a tight connection between your body and your mind. So a lot of the things that we go through have physiological responses, not just the psychological. And I feel like if people understood that more about how everything is interconnected, then that would really help people to really seek the guidance that they need to get back from, and I talked about reclaiming. So get back to where you were before setbacks occurred, before people taught you that you were not beautiful enough, or people told you that your accent was a certain way, or people told you that you made a mistake at work, so you're no longer ever going to do better in your life, or you had a relationship that did not work out, so now you no longer are ever going to be able to get love. If people could understand that your nervous system has a survival mode, and it has where it tries to help you not to be in the fight or flight mode, or you can also be in the safety mode. So when we talk about the nervous system, we're really talking about two different states. That sympathetic nervous system is where you see a lot of women in overdrive, and they overthink things. They replay events that happen. I'm not sure if you have ever been in the situation where you went to an event and then you came back and you started to think about, like, why did I say that? How did I say that? What did they say about how do they feel about what I said? And you spend so much time thinking about that and wondering if you did a good job. See, that's too much. The doubting of yourself, the wondering, people pleasing, all the self-sabotage even. That's the sympathetic nervous system. We don't want that to be activated. We want to be in the parasympathetic nervous system. We want to be able to feel calm. You want to feel safe so that you can attract the wealth that you desire, the love that you desire, the health that you desire. So I wish more people knew about this, because then they would be able to seek out the opportunities or seek out the strategies. They would be able to seek out the strategies to really help them to calm the nervous system so they could feel safe. And it's when you feel safe that you're able to get the things that you want.
Question I have is, a lot of my clients do ask questions about, where is this coming from? why did I become the version of me I'm right now? Why my nervous system is acting like this?
So, and that's a great question. We didn't get to talk about this, but I do have a proprietary methodology known as the Transcend framework, which is based on neuroscience, it's based on social and behavioral sciences, it's based on spirituality even. So it incorporates those three core components, and it's a 5-step framework. The first step is release. Part of the release step is really having people to sit back and think about what happened. How did you get to where you are? And this is a step where a lot of the women I work with don't like, right? They will start to cry actually in this step, because now we're forcing you in some ways, forcing quote, to really get back and think about what happened. When did you lose yourself? When did you go from who you are, who you used to be to where you are now? And when you understand that, that's how you start to really be able to utilize the strategies to really calm yourself. So that's one of the things, is just really getting to that place, following strategies to help you release what's holding you back. And that starts with self-awareness. And then from there, we start to help you to reclaim your self-worth. And then our third step is redesign, because a lot of people talk about affirmations, and those are great, but there's a lot more that goes into really getting your nervous system working, rewiring your brain, helping you to be able to be comfortable with who you are. And that a lot of times will involve redesigning your environment. And so those are a lot of different things that we talk about and help women to really know what got them to where they are and how they can get to where they want to be.
I agree. I have a personal experience. My father always have said nasty things about me. So in that situation, when you said changing your environment, if you have a person or environment around you, then it's really difficult. If you're saying affirmations, I'm beautiful, I'm clever, I can achieve whatever I want, but there is always something around you, someone who's been telling you that in the background, your subconscious is never going to reprogram.
That's a great statement, because when we talk about manifestation, or we talk about abundance or getting the things that you want, the key word is alignment. And I really love the name of your podcast. I was going to say,
yes.
The manifesting is really great, because people don't understand that alignment is what really, you want to align your subconscious with your conscious. You want to align your thoughts, your emotions, your identity with your actions. And that's how you get the abundance that people talk about. But just coming back to that, when we talk about environment, there are different types of environments. And so when I work with women, I tell them, if your physical environment, so maybe you're in a place where you can't leave, like some young people cannot up and leave their parents, it's very toxic. But in that time, you still have what we call the information environment. You can still control what you consume. So a lot of people, I tell them, when you go to watch something, pick and choose something that's going to make you feel better about yourself. You have the choice to do that. That's an environment. People don't think of that as an environment. If you cannot get out of a particular place, make sure that all the things that you're consuming are lifting you up. They're helping you to create messages in your subconscious that say, I'm a person of worth. I am beautiful. I am strong. I can do all things. I am made for more. All of these things. If you start to do that, then you're going to start to feel better about yourself, regardless of what's happening. And then, of course, when you're able to, it's important to actually remove yourself from the physical space. But we recognize that not many people can do that, depending on where you are in your life, your age, your marriage, a lot of things. But you can control what you put in your body, because that subconscious that you mentioned, that's the key. No matter what you're doing on the outside, your subconscious controls a lot of what happens in your life. And so that's what I would say to that.
And lots of people forget about the subconscious, or they're not aware of it. So what would really help them to realize that their subconscious is actually the problem, and then they need to reprogram it?
So a lot of times they need guide. You need somebody that can guide you. Many times we can't see what's going on because, it's us. We're so used to it. A lot of the women that I work with have been doing the same thing for years. So that's part of them. They don't even see it as different. You need somebody. You need to get a mentor. The people you need to see a therapist. You need to get somebody that can sit with you and say, you're doing this, but what you're saying is not match what I see in you. I'll give you an example. So there are a lot of people that will say things like, oh, I want to be very wealthy. I want to be a millionaire. And then you're like, great. And then you start talking to them and you realize that no, at their subconscious level, they don't want to be wealthy. They actually think that wealthy people are bad. They think that if they're wealthy, it'll bring problems for them. I used to be one of those people. I'm married to, my husband's a Harvard trained physician scientist. Wealth is really important we've always talked about creating wealth for our children and maybe our children's children. And so I remember one time we were talking about money early in our relationship. This was a long time ago. And we were just talking and I told him, I said, I don't want to be a millionaire. And he said, oh, okay. Why not? not everybody wants to be a millionaire. That's not a problem. But it was the reasoning that I had for it, right? And I said, it's going to be very hard anyway. It's going to bring a lot of trouble. And so it took him by surprise. And so he probed a little more. He said, well, what do you mean? It was not so much about what I said, but why I said it. It didn't make a lot of sense. And then I started to uncover what the problem was. So what happened was that I had a corporate job at the time. And I was making relatively good money, according to a lot of people. And I noticed that my relationship started to change. So a lot of my friends, they were no longer necessarily hanging with me because of me. I noticed that my friendships changed. And so I started to subconsciously associate wealth with the end of relationships or relationships becoming fractured. I didn't know this. And I started to work on that. And I had to get rid of that mental block around wealth. That no, wealth does not bring trouble. Wealth does not end your relationships. If they are people who love you, they're not going to leave because you have more money. Wealth does not bring stress. I literally had to change how I thought about wealth. And now what I say every day is that wealth comes to me with ease and grace. And I tell my women to say that. And it does come to me with ease. And even when I struggle for different things, because I now believe it at my core, my body now knows, my nervous system knows that wealth is safe with me. Because guess what? When you're saying, I want money or I don't want money, your subconscious is going to be like, great, wealth is bad. We're going to do everything in our power to make sure she does not get wealth. And you see some people, even when you mention wealth, they start to, you have a physiological response. They start to tense. So they're like, what is she talking about? Because your nervous system literally feels like wealth is a dirty word. Wealth is a bad word. But that's the point. You have to understand that your subconscious is doing a lot of work. Getting that correct, getting that right is what's going to really help you to get the things that you want. And I had to learn that. And I had to remove all the mental blocks around health, around weight, around relationships, around money. And then when I did that and I was like, I'm safe. I can attract wealth. I can attract good health. I attract love. Then it started coming. And because the interesting part of it is that it's not magic, but when you're doing this, you're embedding in your brain is going to start to have new neural pathways that really seek for those opportunities that you now consider safe for you. If you buy a red car, you start to notice red cars all over the streets because a part of your brain has now started to set you up to see those things. So when you start to reprogram your mind, that's exactly what happens. If you start to say good things about yourself, wealth comes to me. I am beautiful. I am strong. Then all of a sudden, all those good things start to come. You start to see opportunities for more wealth. You start to see opportunities for more love. You start to see you have more motivation to go do all those things. And that's how it's all interconnected. But it starts on the inside. You have to do the work for the inside and then it comes to the outside.
I agree completely. And lots of my clients always go, so is it too late to reprogram it? And as you explained, it's never too late. You can reprogram it at any age because our brains, it's like a computer. You can reprogram it.
Yes. And that's the beauty of it. Like the word neuroplasticity, I always tell people that's such a great word because it's a word of hope. I talk a lot about hope and optimism, but when you come to understand that you are never too late, you're never too, your brain, you can start today, right now, to rewire your brain, to rewire your mind. All the negative self-talk has to go. If you decide to start today, to start saying good things about yourself, to start thinking good things about yourself, it's going to motivate you to do things that's going to bring the things into your life that you want. And you're going to surprise yourself. There are many things that I have in my life today that if someone had told me just 5 years ago, I would have been like, what are you talking about? But as soon as I started to change my mindset, I started to change how I saw myself, my brain started to be rewired to want those good things, to know that it is safe for my nervous system. It started to know that it's no need to be in fight or flight here. We're good. It's not a threat. It's great for me. Let's go. Bring it. And so immediately I started to do that and just think about myself. Say good things about yourself. But not just saying it, but believe good things about yourself. That's when everything started to change for me.
Yeah. No, I agree. Just tapping into the blocks, because I know there are lots of self-beliefs, programs and blocks we create through the life. Can you just tap into how this is created? Because a lot of people are like, I don't understand where this block for wealth came from. I don't have a problem with money.
A lot of these blocks come from society, religion, our families even, just your perception of what is acceptable. So you'll have somebody say, I'm a good Christian and I'm using Christianity because I'm a Christian. So I cannot be wealthy. I cannot be talking about money. And I'm like, why not? And this is a real conversation that I've had. And they'll be like, I want to be holy. And I'm like, so walk me through your thought process about being holy and wealth and how those two cannot coexist. And they'll start to talk. And then you realize that they misinterpreted something in the scriptures, or they went to a religious leader who told them that this was wrong. And I was like, if you even study your scriptures, you will realize that people like Abraham and all those people were very wealthy. It's not about the wealth itself. The wealth is literally, it's a tool. It's about what you do with it. So if you have a lot of money and you go out there and you help a lot of people to get a lot of good things done, is that a bad thing or is that a good thing? That's a great thing, right? So, but if you have wealth and you start to show off and tell everybody, I drive this, and you use all your money and you focus on that, if your intention for having wealth is so that you can make others feel poorly about themselves, feel badly about themselves, then that's a bad thing. So it's not about the wealth in of itself. So a lot of religious people misunderstand that. And then there's a family too. A lot of family people will tell you that if you have this or if you don't have that, then you're treated a different way. So I would say that a lot of these blocks come from different levels of influence for us. And that even makes me to talk about something that's near and dear to my heart. So I'm a social and behavioral scientist, and we talk a lot about levels of influence. We talk a lot about how every behavior that you have, every thought process that you have is influenced by not just you, not just what you think on the inside. And that's why a lot of the affirmations alone will not work. But we have other levels, other factors that influence you. So we have the intrapersonal you, is your thoughts, your motivation. That's all you. Affirmations work really well there. But once you go to the next level, the interpersonal level, now we're really looking at your interactions with your family, your friends. What do they say about you? What do they say about confidence? Do they say good things that, when you leave your friend, do you feel like, well, I can do this, let me go get it? Or do you feel like, I'm useless, I can't do it? That determines. So they can really influence you. People in your inner circle have the power to make you more confident, or they have the power to make you feel completely useless. If you're listening, I want people to really understand that picking the people that know your decisions, the people that know your vision, even your mentors that can tell you, you can never do that. That's, I don't think you're good enough, because they're looking at you from the lens that they see you. They may have their own biases. Maybe you're too young. Maybe they don't like your accent. There's a lot of things. So understand that. And that should be empowering. That should help you to just know who to choose to be in your circle. And then there's the community level factors. The fact that you're a woman, racism might be there as well, for certain people, depending on where you are. So all of those factors, understanding those is how you really understand how to get the strategies to help yourself so that those factors don't lead to this block. So all the blocks come from different areas, and it's important to know this and know that it's not just one, and it's not one answer. It's like everybody's situation is different. We have even weight stigma. I do a lot of work with body image stuff, a lot of body image work, and a lot of this come from their families. Your families will tell you or joke with you like, oh, that's the fat one. They don't mean any real harm when you're young, but you hold on to that forever, and you start to think, I'll never be beautiful. I am not pretty. I can never marry. You just negative self-talk, negativity bias, you start to get more and more negative stuff happen. And that just leads to a different path in your life. So
no, this is great what you just said, because I'm seeing it from a different perspective of energy level. So when you are surrounding yourself with people who uplift you, then your energy is up. But if you surround yourself with people who drain you, then you're always going to be with energy levels down. And another thing is what I absolutely love in manifestation is when you want to quantum jump and you want to become a different person, you can't be stuck in the reality you are right now. So if you want to be wealthy, you need to start acting like a wealthy person. It's not just about wealth. It's about love. It's about success. Whatever you want to be, let's say confidence. If you want to be confident, going and having coffee and having a pity party with people talking about how bad it is, how it is difficult to go in a meeting, that's not going to help you. If you go and surround yourself with confident people and they will go and talk about how they go in a meeting room and they own the room, then absolutely, because you will then become that person.
Yeah, 100%. There's a lot of studies that actually show this. And I don't think that people give enough credit to just the energy, like you mentioned, the support that is out there. Even love. I remember when I was not yet married, I had a friend tell me that I told her the things I wanted in a husband. I said, I want him to be, handsome, and I want him to be educated and have a good job and love me and love. And I started talking all excited. I thought she was my friend. I thought she was going to be all excited. And then she says, Marianne, you're looking for a unicorn. And I just deflated. I'm like, a unicorn. I'm like, why would you say that? Literally everything I mentioned on there, I have it. Like I'm educated. I have a good job. I didn't say he has to build a skyscraper or something. And so it made me feel a type of way. And I realized that if I wanted to actually marry this kind of person that would love me and be there for me, I needed to stop telling my vision to this kind of people because it was too far removed from their understanding. They didn't think it was possible to have love. They didn't think it was possible to have a relationship with somebody that would love you and be there for you. And so your environment, if you want to lose weight, you need to hang around people who are interested in that. If you're hanging around people that just grab whatever and eat, the chances are you are going to do that too. So it goes for almost anything you can think about. You have to really think about when you think about manifestation, you have to think about not just your internal, but even your environment as well, because that's going to determine to a great extent what you do manifest, what you do get. And I think that's so important.
Absolutely. Do you know what? That just made me realize something I've been talking on a social media is I call it the evil eye. People don't want to be nasty, but they are thinking they're being supportive. But by you telling them your dream and them seeing it from their perspective, they are putting your dream down. And then you start doubting yourself. Do I have my standards too high? Do I want to achieve something which is not achievable? No. People should not share their manifestation. They should just get on with it and then share it when it's achieved. My God, I lost 10 pounds. This is amazing.
Absolutely. I can't even tell you how true that is, because if you give your plans to the wrong person, it'll stay a plan forever. It really will. Because first, if they're going to come out, they will tell you about a person that they knew that started this and it didn't work out. And I'm like, it doesn't matter about that person. I'm not that person. Why are you telling me? Like, and again, a lot of them want to support you, or some of them don't, but some people may want to act like they care. But the fact remains that your vision is different from their vision. Your knowledge of yourself is different from what they think, or whatever lens they look at you through. So always keep that in mind and know that who you choose, your environment is going to affect, how you see yourself, what you want for your life. If you understand, and just even coming back, if you understand the power of setting intentions and doing the work to get those things, because it's not just setting your intentions. When you talk about manifestation, when you talk about visualization, all the things, it's not a woo-woo thing. These are very basic things to just show that if you do certain things, if you believe certain things about yourself, it's going to allow your body and your mind to be regulated. It's going to allow yourself to be comfortable. And it's also going to allow you to be able to take the action. It's going to present opportunities that you will take the actions, and then you're going to get the desired outcome. That's literally how it works. It's not as dramatic as a lot of people think, and it's not woo-woo at all. And there's so many things that I have manifested in my life, or if you're a religious person, I think about it as faith. You're seeing something even before it happens. We're all saying the same thing in a lot of ways, I think. That's how I see it. It's worked for me. But the key word is alignment. Align your thoughts, align your feelings. You align your actions and your beliefs about yourself, and you'll be able to get what it is that you want.
I agree, because I sometimes find it really difficult with social media, because there are so many people out there who are saying, I'm the expert. And then you're hearing them saying things and you be like, are you? I'm not entirely sure. But because we are on social media, it's so easy to just absorb this. And as you said earlier, be careful who you listen to, because then you can come up with this person and God knows where this person is taking it from. And let's be clear, not 100% of the information on there is correct.
Oh, yeah. Garbage in, garbage. It's processed, it's programmed in. So, hey.
100%. And manifestation work, what a lot of people believe, it's I just close my eyes and my wish will come true. It's not a genie. You still have to do the work. If you want a new job, if you sit on a sofa and do nothing about it, it's not going to happen. What do we need to get? You need to get your new CV. You need to then start look for a job, go for interviews, and it will happen. So there is conscious work, and you need to make the steps.
When we think of manifestation, we're thinking about manifesting good things. We manifest every day. A lot of people manifest bad things into their lives by the thoughts they have for themselves. There are women that I work with that constantly have the same pattern of dating the same kind of guys, you're going to get heartbroken. You're still doing the same thing. Why? Because like your subconscious, you don't think that you deserve a better person. Somebody told me once, she's like, that kind of man can't look my way. And I'm like, why do you say that? You tell me more about that. Oh, so you're manifesting negativity. It works, whether you're manifesting for good or for bad. You are manifesting every day. And as a matter of fact, I'll go as far as saying that wherever you are right now, you've in some ways manifested that. If you thought that you could go to school and pass and graduate, you went and did the work, you probably are graduated now. If you did not think you could do it, you probably didn't do the work and you're not, so all of the things you're manifesting for good or for bad. And I think that that's a powerful thing to know, is that we have the power to create the lives that we want. We can do this. You just need to learn how to do it, learn how to, reprogram your own mind about yourself, reprogram how you think about the world. And if you think the world is good and that you can get good things, then you will get it.
Absolutely. And there's an episode about choice. We have choice. It's every single thing happening to you. You have a choice. And we are the only beings on a planet Earth who has been given the choice. Animals don't have a choice. When people use circumstances as an excuse, it's an excuse. They will tell you, this is happening to me because. No, you still have a choice to do it differently tomorrow. You just choose not to. So that's the difference. And when people realize that their life changed so dramatically.
100%. So a lot of the work that I do is really helping women who have experienced setbacks, or personal setbacks or professional setbacks. So almost every woman that takes my program either is now feeling bad about herself because her relationship did not work out. There's all these things, from body changes. We have women who put on more weight than they would like, or lost more weight than they would like. So they no longer feel attractive. They no longer feel sexy. And so their self-worth has gone down. So what I always tell them is like, you have a choice, 100%. You can decide today to choose that you are the most attractive person here and start to think about yourself regardless of how much weight you've lost or how much weight you've gained. You are still you, right? You can decide that even though this didn't work out, and I have a lot of women that I talk to now that they had these positions of power, and then with everything that happened, they lost their job. So many people lost their sense of self. Their identity was, for a lot of high achieving women, our identity is somehow intertwined with leadership and money and success. And so all of a sudden they didn't have a job. They're now having to look for a job. And many of them are now underqualified. They just had to take a job, even though they know that they could do so much better. And I had to tell them, you have a choice though. You have a choice to really still see yourself as who you are and not look down on yourself and start, giving up. So there's always choice there. And it's always reframing your perspective, how you see something. No matter how difficult a situation is, there's always a reason to be grateful, to be hopeful, to know that tomorrow can be better. If you make the choices today, if you decide to see yourself as a person of worth, if you decide to see yourself as somebody who can overcome. I talk a lot about overcoming. You can overcome the self-doubt. You can overcome the shame. You can overcome the guilt. You can move forward and go on to have your most remarkable next chapter. And you just need to get the right guide and the right support, and you can do it.
Absolutely. I agree with that. And I'm so glad that you touched gratitude, because gratitude is something I always tell my clients, and they go, but I'm having such a difficulty right now. Even getting out of bed is really difficult. And I said, do you have a bed? Do you have a roof over your head? So there are things, a lot of people focus on the thing, I have a house, I have well-paid job, I have this, I have that. But we really, if we are in difficult situation, and some people are in difficult situation, and I do appreciate it's really difficult to find what you're grateful for, but you have your health, or maybe you don't have your health, so focus on different things. Do you have somewhere to sleep? Do you have clean water? Because people don't. Not everybody is privileged to have that. And when you then go like, little thing, today was sunny day. I am so grateful that I had half an hour over lunchtime and I went and sat in the sunshine.
Yeah. It's all about perspective. It's really, really all about perspective. And I even had something happen because I lost my beloved sister in 2023, one of the most difficult experiences of my life. And I remember I was talking about her earlier this year, and one of her friends, she found it difficult to see that I could still be grateful. And she was like, oh, it's okay. You don't need to pretend to be grateful for your life. It's okay. And I'm like, what do you mean? So you're thinking that because of this devastating thing occurred, that I should never be grateful. I said, I still have a lot to be grateful for. First off, she lived a wonderful life. I'm grateful for the fact that I even had her in my life. I'm grateful for the fact that I got to experience the kind of love that she gave me. And so you can, even in the most dire circumstances, there are things to be grateful for. I'm grateful for the last moments that we had. I'm grateful for a lot of different things. And I tell people all the time, there's a lot of things to be grateful for. And I feel like if you start to think about life like that, and even think about, even in the very hard situations, just stopping to think about what could have even gone worse. And for me, it's like, okay, if I didn't get to see her at this time, it would have been worse. It's all about reframing. And that's what we keep going back to your mind and your body. The way you tell yourself a story is going to really determine what happens. The mental picture you're giving yourself about any event is going to determine how you move forward. And gratitude is a key. I really actually call it the secret sauce for success. Once you're grateful in every circumstance, then your life takes a dramatic turn. You're able to bounce back. And for me, that's actually the secret. For another secret that I tell women is that the faster you can bounce back after a devastating event, the more successful you will be. Just because something very terrible has happened doesn't mean that you should take 10 years off and cry and sit in the corner. Yes, it happened. It was bad. Where's the help you can get, the support you can get so that you can get back on your feet, because you still have what to be grateful for, and you can still move on. And that's my whole message, is that it's not over until it's over. And as long as you're alive, you can move on and you can be fine. You can have more joy and more success. Why not?
I agree. And, there is room for grief. And I believe that people always talk about grief, but you can grieve something which you lost and that person's still there. But you can lose house. And, the house is still there, but you lost it, or you lost job, which was your dream job, and you lost it. You can grieve, but you still then need to realize that it's your choice. Am I going to cry about it for 10 years? And blame the circumstances, or am I going to allow grief and then go, do you know what? I'm grateful for this experience because it's going to shape me into a different person than I was a year ago, 2 years ago. Let's do this differently.
Absolutely. And you can even be grateful and still be crying. There's times when I'm like, okay, I'm grateful. Thank you, Lord, for this. Like, my heart is so broken. But thank you that I'm here this morning. You can still be grateful. You can still grieve. I don't want anyone to think that we're saying don't grieve and just get up and go. No, You can still grieve. You can still allow space for that, but get the support. Understand that your loved one, or whatever situation you had, you're not supposed to grieve forever. You're not supposed to lose yourself because of something that happened to you. That's not how life is designed. You can still be grateful in every circumstance while you're going through a hardship. Maybe you don't have money in your bank account right now, but you have life. It's all about perspective. It really, really is. And I don't want anyone to feel like we're dismissing pain. I know pain. I know that's very hard. I work with women who struggle with very, very hard things, and I validate that. But I'm always careful to let them know, don't allow this swallow you. Don't allow this end you. It's not meant to end you. You can move past this and go be even greater than you were before this occurred. And that's the message I want people to get from this, is that we're not downplaying your problems. We're letting you that you still have a choice to be happy. You still have a choice to be hopeful. You still have a choice to do what you need to do to go out there and have the life that you want, regardless of what has happened. You're not disqualified. It's not over.
Great. And this is so powerful, having a choice, and also the perception. It's so powerful, having the perception on the situation. And when I changed looking at things differently, your life changes.
I feel like we can all go through life just being stressed or being worried about everything, and things are going to happen every day. Something's going to happen that could annoy you. I mentioned traffic. You're driving in some cities in the US and you just want to lose your mind, but you can choose to not be so offended by that. It's not that serious. Maybe they're in a hurry. Maybe they need to get somewhere. You can choose to move on, and you just reframe or remove yourself from a situation where you can. But I think that we owe it to ourselves to really keep our minds and our bodies at peace, because there's a lot, like, you mentioned earlier, I'm a public health educator, and I talk a lot about stress. Stress is not a good word for most of us. We don't want to hear that word because it affects you. It's linked to so many, chronic diseases. It's linked to everything from obesity, certain types of cancer, and of course, and depression, anxiety, the whole thing. So you don't want to do anything or put yourself in any situation where you're constantly afraid, you're constantly stressed, you're constantly worried. You really need to work on trying to just let things be, do the things in your power that you can do, align your beliefs, align your thoughts with your actions and just do what you can, but don't overly spend time, regretting things and stressing things. Just recently, just finished working on a resource that I have for women, and it's about regret to roadmap. It's what I call it. And it's really focused on helping women to let go of regret, because that was one of the biggest things that I found from, working with women is many of them are still living in regret. The relationship that did not work out, they're still talking about it. They're still worrying if you missed the boat. They're still worried about the job that someone treated them badly at the job, or if I had married that guy. And I just really want women to know that you need to release it. You're never going to move forward. And I literally created a whole resource for it. And I made it, so that anyone that wants it can grab it. And I want women to know that you can release whatever. You can let it go, and you can go on to have your best life. And you can let your body breathe. You can let your body feel safe, that you are okay. You deserve good things. You are a person of worth. And nothing that has happened to you has diminished your value. And that's what I say almost every time I talk. It's like, you're still a person of worth. No need to carry this regret in your body and punish your body and punish your systems. Just let it go and, get help to be able to let it go and just live happily ever after. Why not?
I agree. Yeah, letting go is very hard. And I think many people just don't see the difference between letting go and forgiving and forgetting. So for me, for example, partnership, if something happened and you don't want to forgive, holding on to it is actually can get so bad that you can create an illness. So you just have to let go. You just have to forgive, not forget. You don't forget because your brain will not let you, and that's absolutely fine. But when you let go and you forgive, you just gonna feel like the metal ball on your foot is just disappearing and it's not dragging you down anymore.
Absolutely. I agree 100%. And you're not even doing it for them. No matter what they did, this is not even about them. This is about you, because you control what you control. And that's what one of the things I teach women is focus on what you can control. I can't control them or whatever they did. You can release that, let it go. Don't let it bother you so much. Don't let it hold you back. It doesn't even matter what they said. We're moving on, and I want you to get your healing so that you can attract someone that's 100 times better than him. Because if he said that, then he's at the bottom of the barrel in the first place. There's no point sitting there and regretting it and holding on to that and allowing that to replay in your mind. Because again, remember, what you believe in your subconscious is what's going to really take hold. And so what you're telling me really is that at some level, your subconscious, you believe that. And I don't want you to believe that, because it's not true. You're a person of worth. So those are the things that I work with the women I talk about, is like really helping them see that, yeah, this is a real concern for you, but negative self-talk like that, those are lies. Those are not true statements. Those are not factual statements. So you have to release them. You have to let it go. There's no need to repeat them. Don't say them again. Let them go. And you start the process. It's a long process for some people, longer than others, but you start the process and it will, like anything else, the more you do it, repetition will start to rewire your brain. It becomes embedded in you, and you start to see things differently. You start to see yourself differently. And it's a remarkable feeling when when a woman comes to tell me that, oh, I now feel like this. I've let it go. I cried it out. Let's get the next step. Let's reclaim it. Let's redesign it. Let's radiate. So that's kind of what I want for people. I'm really passionate about this because I have a lot of people that are close to me who have gone through setbacks and unfortunately allowed it to really take them down. And there's nothing as hard as seeing the light leave somebody's eyes, somebody that was so vibrant and so confident and so happy with her life, all of a sudden just like, if it comes, I'll take it, kind of a thing. And I'm like, no. Let's get you back to where you were before. Let's get you feeling good about yourself again so you can have the life that you want. So that's like my message I carry around. That's my mission, is really to help every woman to know that she can bounce back, she can give back, and she can be safe again in her own body, in her own skin.
So how do you rebuild self-trust when you had a setback without forcing positivity?
There are a lot of strategies, and in my programs, it starts with your different levels. You start with your internal, what you say to yourself. So the thing with self-trust is there's a thing I call the trust fracture. A lot of times when you did something, or maybe you chose a partner, I'm going to use love again, and you did all the work, you thought that he was a great guy, and you did all this thing, and then later on you find out that he was fraudulent, he didn't love you, he was cheating on you the whole time. What happens for a lot of women is that you start to be like, wow, I thought I was a good judge of character. So if I could not even get this right, then maybe I'm not to be trusted. And then maybe I'm not as good as I thought I was. Maybe I don't need this. And so that trust fracture, as I call it, takes hold of you. And so you start to diminish yourself. You start to feel like, and then that's, you start to feel like you can't get anything better. And then that spills over to your work. You start to not trust yourself in your work decisions. Like, maybe I'm not even trustworthy. So one of the ways that you can change that is actually literally changing the self-talk. And that's where affirmations come in. I am a person of worth. And in my program, in my step 4, we talk about reconnect. So here I help you to reconnect with whatever you consider to be your higher power. What does your higher power say about you? Is that God? Is that the universe? Is that your ancestors? Whatever they say about you, I want you to connect with that. That's how you start to really become more confident. You have this self-trust. And so for me, as a Christian woman, in my Christianity, there's one of the affirmations right from our holy book says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So that's something that I say. And I'm like, if you're a Christian person, you say that. The universe, if you believe in the universe talks about abundance, how that's there for you. Tap into that. Say that. My life is abundant. I can get this. And there's science to show this. There's research that shows the connection between spirituality and success. If you believe that you have a higher power that's supporting you, you're likely to have better health outcomes, better economic outcomes, all of that. So I tell you to tap into whatever you need to tap into, but it's really about changing what you say about yourself and what you believe. It's all about changing that. No more negative self-talk. We start to help you to rebuild your self-trust so that you can heal that trust fracture and start to believe in yourself again.
That's amazing. I love that.
Thank you.
That's great. So why do women become more high functioning after heartbreak? And what is the body protecting them from?
So yeah, a lot of the times it's just a way for people to feel value in their lives. When you go through this heartache or you go through stress or something like that happens, again, you have this trust fracture. You no longer trust yourself. You feel disappointed in yourself. Now you're going to grab onto the one thing or two things that you can do very well. So some people will go on this cooking spree and cook. Right? And do whatever you feel like you can do and do it and really, really do it. Right? And other people will just go out to work and immerse themselves in work and work from, morning till night and not go home. It's a way to hide. It's a way to feel safe again. It's a way to kind of regain yourself in some ways. And your body's also trying to protect you. You're trying to regulate yourself the best way that you know how to do it so that you don't go home and sit at home and cry and eat ice cream all day. But I think that what is most important for people to know is that when you go through a setback, there are steps. You have to honor your pain. I talk a lot about this. You don't have to pretend that you didn't go through pain. You just went through a breakup or you just went through, a loss of any kind. Honor the pain. Name the pain. You have to say it. I went through this and I did this and this hurts and this is hard, but I can move past this. I can do all things. I am strong. I can do hard things. And you have to start to work with the people that can give you the steps, the strategies, the help, the support to be able to get out of that. So again, it's not about hiding in your pain. And some people actually go into addiction, not just high functioning, but they start to do other behaviors that are out of character for them. Again, it's all trying to feel safe again in some way that they know how to feel safe and to bring value to themselves some way. But I recommend strongly that you get help, you get somebody that can support you so that you don't introduce more negativity or more negative patterns in your behaviors.
Thank you. No, that's very helpful. So if someone's listening and they are overwhelmed right now, what is your quickest nervous system reset they can do under 60 seconds?
Just let yourself breathe. And a lot of times I tell women, put your hand on your chest so that you can feel grounded. And breathe and then start to say this. I have what I call the emergency self-compassion card. If you need to close your eyes, feel your body, just stand up, just release, breathe in, breathe out. Tell yourself, I am safe. I'm okay. I deserve good things. I am calm. It's okay. I'm human. I'm allowed to have human experiences. And release your body. Let your body not be so tight. And allow your body to just calm down. Give yourself time. In our culture where you just go, but just give yourself time. But speak to yourself. Say, I'm going through pain. I honor the pain. I know the pain, but I can handle this. I have the experience. I've handled it before. I can do this. So whatever it is that you need to do, if you need to kneel down, if you need to close your eyes, if you need to pray, whatever works for you. It's different for everyone, but I always tell people, speak to yourself, reaffirm to yourself that you can handle this. Because then your body starts to say, okay, no need to fight, no need to stress. We can relax. We're good. And your body, you actually feel it. It's sometimes when you're so tense, your whole body is like tight. And then once you start to say that, and shake it out. And, you start to feel better. Like, okay, I'm good. I'm safe. It's okay. And I even tell my children this. You can say that. I'm safe. I'm good. It's okay. You start to feel better. So that's something I can say you can do.
That's amazing. Thank you. It's so good that you tapped into your kids, because I have a son and I do this with him as well, because there's so many life circumstances for these little people where they take it so seriously and they think it's end of the world. And you'll be like, you human, it's okay. Just breathe it out.
Absolutely. And I think this is so important to, understand that. Sometimes in high functioning families, like in our home, we really talk about education. You have to do this. And then there's the, sports and all this stuff. But I always tell my children that you're fine as long as you're doing your best. That's all I want. Regardless of the outcome, I want you to know that you're always loved, you're always safe, but I want you to work hard, because nothing's going to come to you easily. And I want you to be the best that you can be. I'm really big on potential. We're not going to come to Earth and waste our time, because this is not a dress rehearsal. We don't get a do-over. Once you're out of this planet, it's a wrap, right? So I want you to make the best of your time. Yeah. So that's what I tell them. But at the end of the day, know that there's not a thing you can do. I tell my kids, there's not a thing you can do that can make me to stop loving you. So just do your best. Be the best. Show up the best that you can. And you will be okay. And you're always safe. My kids say affirmations every day before we get out of the car. They say everything. And even when we talked about wealth, my kids say, I am wealthy, I am healthy, I am smart, I am strong. Every single day I say it, we do it. And we say it and it becomes embodied for us. So I had a girl ask me the other time, Marianne, you win so many things. How do you win so many awards? And I'm like, I expect to win. My body knows that I love it. So my body knows it's safe with me. I understand my essence, which is a lot more powerful than external validation or material stuff. I know that I was created for a reason, to help people, to help women know that they're not less than. So my body knows that. And so because of that, we say these things and we do these affirmations, and because we believe in that, we expect that. I always expect to win. I've never in my life expected to go and do something and like, okay, I'll just take 8th out of 9. No, I don't want that. I'm trying to get to the podium if that's, and then whatever happens, happens. And so that's kind of how it is. It's like, you expect that. And I teach my kids that, to know how much power you have just by what you believe, and what you believe in yourself, what you believe about the world is going to really shape your world in ways that you don't even know yet. That's what I tell anyone, is just believe in yourself, expect good things. We're not looking at it from rose-colored lenses or anything, but we know that good things are there, and we can attract good things to our lives by, what we do and where we go, and, how we improve ourselves. So we do it. I'm all about progression, get better, do what you can, but just be safe, feel safe, and know that you have what it takes to have a joyful, confident, prosperous life.
I agree. Yeah, that was really well said. So tell me, Marianne, what guided you to this purpose? What was the trigger? What was the pivot? How did you get to do what you're doing today?
I have a lot of loved ones that had problems, as I mentioned, that had setbacks, that were not able to bounce back the way that they should have. And that really got me to thinking about this. But I would say the main reason why I decided that it was time to go was during my doctoral program. And that's when I developed my proprietary Transcend framework that I use now in all my programs. But I worked on a dissertation project that focused on assessing weight bias in men and women. Internalization is just how you feel about your weight. And, if you feel negatively about your weight because of what society has said. So a lot of the people that I interviewed, these were affluent women and influential women. Our study population were very, very successful people. And so they would come into the place. We had them dressed really nicely and, they were looking really good. And then I started asking them the questions and they would just change. So how do you feel about your body? How do you feel your body has impacted your ability to get this, and that? How do you tell me about your past? What has your past done? And then one lady actually started to cry. People were sharing all these stories about feeling really bad about themselves because of setbacks that they had, about their weight or about their mistakes, or somebody said about not being married. So many different things. Self-esteem was so low and they looked so put together. I was extremely surprised by this because I felt like they look great on paper. A lot of them were educated. Most of them actually had advanced degrees, a lot of money, and directors and the different things in top organizations. I was surprised at the lack of confidence when it came down to it. And so after that lady when she broke down there, I was there in the capacity of a researcher. As a researcher, you're not there to give information, you're there to take information. So I had been coaching though, on the side, for years, but I knew that the things I could tell her, but in that capacity, I couldn't tell her. I remember when I went back, I was telling the other person on the program, I really wish I could have shared this with her. And I started to think about that. So that's kind of how it started. It's been amazing. It's been rewarding. Every day, it feels like I've done something really great, helped somebody. To me, it's more, rewarding than I ever could have imagined. So that's kind of how I got here. It's just to continue the message, getting the message out there that women, no matter what you're going through, you're still a woman of worth. It doesn't matter whatever mistake you've made. It doesn't matter how you look. It doesn't matter how you speak. And I'm here to guide anyone that wants that. So that's kind of how I got here.
That's amazing. Thank you very much for sharing that story. So if any of my listeners would like to reach out to you, how can they get hold of you or seek help from you?
You can reach me on Instagram or LinkedIn, Dr. Marianne Olaniran. Joyfullytranscend.com is my website. So they can go there. We have resources on there that people can use and just going towards the direction that they want. So we can connect.
Lovely. Thank you very much for joining my podcast today. It was lovely talking to you. So thank you very much, everyone, listening our podcast today. And what I do always for you, I will link all the affirmations and the journal prompts in the show notes, so you can take a time with your heart and do some journaling, and see you soon.